The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
Close your eyes and pull like a dog.
And a new Irish record for Phil Healy, 22.99.
Christy Cooney hands over the Sam Maguire Cup to Graham Canty, Cork All-Ireland champions for the 7th time ever.
So hello and welcome once again to another episode of the Star Sport podcast. I'm your host Matthew Hurley and I'm joined today, as always, by Star Sport editor Kieran McCarthy. The Star Sport podcast is brought to you in association with our friends at Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, where your bank really does matter. Choose credit union, choose local, choose community. Now later on the show we'll be joined by Goleen midfielder Matthew Sheehan as they prepare for their County Junior B Football Championship final this weekend against Douglas in Pairc Uí Rinn this Sunday. They're going for a championship treble as well, Goleen. But first we'll discuss some recent stories that are taking the headlines in West Cork this week. And I suppose there's one place to start, Kieran, and it is the retirement of Clonakilty fullback extraordinaire Thomas Clancy from inter-county football. He was on the Cork panel as early as 2013. He was in the Cork panel as recently as last season as well, playing the game where Cork went out of the championship against Louth. Was a key component to John Cleary's panel, but it has been announced in the last few days that Thomas Clancy has stepped away from the Cork panel. That's taken the total up to 6 players, according to my count here, from the Cork panel. So it's going to be a lot of change next year, but for Thomas to retire, it's going to be a loss to Cork football.
Yeah, it's Thomas, like you said, he's been almost an ever-present. The last couple of years, John Cleary brought him back into the panel in 2022. That's after Clancy had such a good run with the Clon team that got to the Premier Senior Football Final in 2021. And if you're going back before that, Clancy made his Cork Senior debut back in 2013. I think it was the same game that John O'Rourke made his debut in, league game away to Dublin up in Croke Park. This started 2013. So they started together, and himself and John O'Rourke have gone out together because John O'Rourke obviously retired a couple of weeks ago as well. So very much a changing of the guard for the Cork senior football team. I caught up with Thomas actually earlier this week. So we have a piece in this Thursday Southern Star, and the full piece will actually be in next week's Star. So just chatting to him about the decision to step back and why now. Like, he's 32 years of age. Life is about to get a bit busier on the home front, and he just feels he can't give the commitment that's needed for inter-county football right now. It was a harder decision than he thought it would be, he was telling me, because he's such good friends in the Cork football panel, he was saying, and there's such a good structure there the last couple of years, the same management, same coaches, and so on, and he feels that there is the potential there to go and achieve something. And especially when you look at the likes of Kevin Flahive is not involved now. Luke Fahy's injured. So there could have been a chance for Clancy even to move up the pecking order, but life outside of football is just too busy for Clancy right now. So that was the main reason for his decision. So it brings Cork down in his Cork career. He was telling me, like, when he started off, like with the minors and the under-21s, he had huge success, kind of winning Munster titles there. And unfortunately, that couldn't translate up to the senior setup. And very similar to John O'Rourke, that's one of Clancy's big regrets, is that he didn't get to win something of note or something big with the Cork footballers. But Cork's loss will be Clon's gain, because Clancy's only 32. The Clon footballers, I think, feel that they're not too far away from knocking on the door like they did a couple of years ago. So Clonakilty will have Clancy full-time next year. So that's good news for Clonakilty football, and Clancy's looking forward to that as well.
If you look at, you mentioned John O'Rourke's retired, Kevin Flahive is going away to Australia as well. Killian O'Hanlon retired in the off-season. Stephen Sherlock stepped away. Damien Gore stepped away. So there'll be a lot of change in the Cork panel next season, and maybe an opportunity for your younger players to step up for John Cleary's team. But it's going to be a lot of changes in the Kieran. A change to the Cork team and panel indeed when the Alliance League does start at the end of January.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see, I suppose, the new faces that John Cleary is going to bring in. Like the names you just listed off there, okay, some of them you could say were more kind of panel players that are coming off the bench, but there were still kind of figures who've been there for the last number of years, so they have that experience. So if we're talking about the likes of a Clancy, John O'Rourke, O'Hanlon, Sherlock, they've a lot of experience that Cork need to need to fill. It is an opportunity for younger fellas coming up, but you're looking into a league campaign where Cork again are in Division 2. The target will be to try and get up to Division 1. That's been the target the last couple of years. On paper, it almost looks like a more favourable Division 2. We don't have some of the heavy hitters we've had in the last couple of years, like the Dublins and the Galways and the Armaghs. But I think from the provisional fixtures, Matthew, it looked like Cork had 3 away games up in Ulster, which is never easy. And straight away, that's a kind of it's a big challenge for Cork to overcome, to go up to Ulster and pick up points there, and then to keep it ticking along at home. So it's never straightforward to get out of Division 2. It's really, really competitive. But to get out of Division 2 while blooding a lot of young players and without the McGrath Cup probably makes it a bit more challenging in such a kind of condensed season. But that's the hand that John Cleary has now.
Yeah, exactly. And like I was seeing off the ball, power rankings in the last few days, Tommy Rooney actually has Cork in 12th behind Louth, Roscommon and Monaghan when you're talking about Division 2 teams. So it's going to be an interesting Division 2 campaign next year for John Cleary's men. There's no doubt about that. Moving into the club game, and it was disappointment ultimately for the O'Donovan Rossa LGFA side, who lost to Down from Galway on a scoreline of 112 to 19 in the All-Ireland semi-final. Disappointing result for Skip Kieran, but it was an amazing season regardless for the Skibbereen team. 5 championship titles in a row. They just couldn't get over the line for the 6th, but what a group of players.
Oh, incredible. Like, this story has been superb the last couple of seasons, to watch these Rosses on a roll, to kind of, like you said there, Matthew, doing 5 championship titles in a row. And that includes 2 Munster titles, two county titles, and an All-Ireland junior title last year. Like, that's the stuff of legend. Like, kind of, this O'Donovan Rossa team will, their feats of the last 2 seasons will be talked about for years to come. It's probably very hard for the players right now, just off the back of their All-Ireland intermediate defeat in Galway on Sunday, to realise that, or comprehend that, or to kind of process what they have achieved. But that'll come in time. That'll come down the line. It's such a young group of players, but what they've done for Donovan Rossa Football Club, but even for the Skibbereen town itself and the kind of locality, it's been brilliant to see. Like, they've brought everyone together, because we've had so many big games over the last 2 seasons. Like I said about county finals, it was Donny's in the junior final last year, Neva Bond this year. But even once they ventured outside of Cork, like kind of Munster finals up in Mallow against Clonakilty and Mizen of Kerry last year, St Albans of Limerick this year. There was the home All-Ireland semi-final last year in Skibbereen before Christmas, which was an incredible occasion against Gussaran. There was the away trip to Edinburgh, an All-Ireland junior quarter-final. There was, like I said, there's been so many big trips, and even that trip to Galway on Sunday, like a big skip contingent made the trip up as well. So it's the memories that this group have created that are going to endure. Okay, they'll be heartbroken right now. They couldn't get to Croke Park for the All-Ireland final, but what a story that this has been to follow. Like, their championship run has been just absolutely incredible, and it's not finished yet, in a sense that their reward for this season is that they're going to be a senior team for the first time ever in 2025. So that's an awful lot to look forward to too. So it's not necessarily the end of the journey at all for the Skib team. I know they've been on a winning run, and stepping up to senior will be more difficult, but they can take huge confidence and momentum into next year. And why can't they give the senior B a rattle? You know, one step at a time. We've seen Castlehaven last season, seen Clonakilty this season. Could O'Donovan Rossa make it a hat-trick of West Cork winners in recent years? Let's see.
So, and James O'Donovan's team have a lot of heroes in the team, encapsulated in the last 2 seasons, obviously, and it was a brilliant campaign for Skip nonetheless, but unfortunately was a defeat against Down. Across the board in LGFA, actually, there were, well, not necessarily West Cork clubs, but West Cork players in action. Niamh Cotter for Kilmacud Crokes in the senior LGFA championship scored a total of 2-4, got player of the match in a 5-11 to 1-5 win over Kerry's Castle Island Desmonds. They play Kilcurran Clonberne, therefore the road chasing team from Galway in the final in senior. Then you have Mungret St Paul's in junior level, who have 3 West Cork girls in the panel. Carol Bateman from Rosscarbery, Niamh Crowley from Bantry, and Sive Redmond from Skibbereen. They beat Coolera Strandon from Sligo 8 points to 1-5. Well, it was a draw after extra time, and it went to free kicks, and they won 3-1. And one of the free kick takers was actually the goalkeeper, Carol Bateman from Rosscarbery. What an achievement for those 4 girls to get into an All-Ireland final, I'm sure, as well. But like, it's brilliant to have so much West Cork involvement across the board in LGFA, really.
100%, you know, kind of like you said, mentioned Niamh Cotter there. Like, that's a super story. Niamh's She's from Glengarriff. She played with the West Cork ladies football team. She's played with Beara. She was a Cork senior for a number of years. She was dogged with injuries towards the end of her Cork career there. She had a back injury that kind of threatened to kind of knock her out long term out of football. But she transferred up to Kilmacud in 2020 because she was studying up in I think it was European law up in DCU at the time. So she transferred to Kilmacud Crokes, and she just hasn't stopped winning up there. I think they've won 3 Dublin titles in a row, and they've won 3 Leinster titles in a row, and now they're through to their first All-Ireland senior final. So it's just a super story. And to see Niamh kick 2-4 in the semi-final against Desmond's the last day, and she got player of the match. So that means we have a West Cork player involved in the biggest ladies football club game of the year coming up. I think that's December 14th. And you mentioned there about the 3 local players from Bantry, Ross, Carbery and Skib who are on the Munkert St. Paul's team. So it's just super, kind of, okay, we'd love to see the Skibbereen ladies through to an All-Ireland final, but it's great to see that there is West Cork involvement in some of the big ladies club finals over the next couple of weekends.
Exactly so, and may it roll on in the next few weeks, and hopefully Mungret and Kilmacud get over the line in those respective finals. There was disappointment for another West Cork team as well, Kilmacbery, in the County Junior A Football Championship semi-final. They lost out in Ascara and Pairc Uí Rinn 2-9 to 1-9. It was good for Kilmacbery to win the West Cork Championship to get back the Carbery title, but ultimately they will be disappointed, won't they, Kieran, in losing this semi-final agonisingly to a very good Inniscarra side, to be fair.
That's it, yeah. Like, kind of, I suppose the context is Inniscarra are a very good team, and they'll take some stopping in the final. But Kilmacbery will be disappointed. With the interview with Donny O'Donovan, the Kilmacbery manager, in last week's Star, where he was rightly saying, I suppose, the fact that Kilmacbery have won 4 of the last 8 Carbery titles, like, that for them is almost base camp now, because they want to win a county junior title and they want to get up into the county premier junior grade, and like, they have to think like that. You have to set your sights high, because they've been so dominant over the years in Carbery, and they just came up short again. Like, that's 3 semi-final defeats, and they've won final defeat as well. They just can't get over the line, and that's why it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt right now. But Kilmacbery aren't that far away, and John Hayes, in his column in Thursday's Southern Star, which is, as always, well worth checking out, he just kind of, he uses one word that Kilmacbery should listen to. He said persistence. Kind of just persist at this and see what happens, because there's a good team there. It is a tough championship to win, Matthew, because you have to win your own district division to emerge from there before you even go into the county series. So Kilmacbery are going right back to the start line next year, but they'll know they're close. They'll know they're so close, and they'll be the team to beat in Carbery next year. And if they can get out of Carbery again in 2025, they'll know what's needed to kind of progress through the county. But it's right now, I suppose those words probably ring hollow around Lepp and Glandore, because they'll be disappointed after what happened last weekend. But they can still reflect on a really good season for them. Like, they got the Mickey McCarthy Cup back for the first time since 2020. They had lost the final last year, the Carbery final. So they're back on top in Carbery, which is no mean achievement given the standard here. So there are silver linings to this season that they can take.
Even looking forward to next season, like there is 2 relegation playoffs that take place this weekend: Clonakilty and Kilbrittain on Saturday, and Barry Road 2:30. And then at the same time, in the scheme, you have Newstown and Kilmeen. So the significance of those is the loser of both of those games both go down to Junior B for next season, because St. James's are coming down for the County Premier Junior Championship, and Goleen, we'll talk about in a bit, are coming up for the Junior B Championship as well. That kind of makes it tougher for Kilmacbery in a way, because St. James will be coming down now after getting a bit of experience in the county championship. You have Barry Road that will be hungry as ever. You have St. Mary's as well that will be chomping at the bit. Mahoonas will get a bit of confidence after reaching the final this season. So is it there an argument that it's going to be tougher for Kilmacbery next year to retain the Carbery title?
Yeah, 100%. Totally take that on board. And like, Kilmacbery will start as favourites as reigning champions, but like all the teams you just mentioned there, like Mahoonas weren't too far away this year. Like, and have you mentioned the likes of Ballinhassig and Argideen Rangers, who might think if they can get their houses in order that they might give it a rattle. It's a really competitive championship, and that's been seen for the last couple of years, where there's been different winners every season. Kilmacbery will be the team to beat, but they know the effort that it takes to get out of Carbery. Like, that's why I suppose it's so disappointing when they lose in the county series, because it's like, oh Jesus, right back to the start line again. It's like a game of snakes and ladders, like, and they're after hitting a really big snake right now that's after taking them right back down to the start line. So they'll have to pick themselves up and go again. But you're right, like, St. James's are coming back down from the Premier Junior grade. Goleen are a team with fierce momentum behind them. Kind of hopefully things will go well for them this weekend. So they'll have a crack off Junior A to see can they challenge those teams there. So really competitive championship, really competitive. So Kilmackie, we know it's a lot of hard work to get back to the county series, but they'll have that as a target. Well, the first target come championship would be to win Carbery again, and if they can do that, get back into the county series, they'll hope to kind of navigate their way through there. But as they've learned their costs over the last couple of years, it's so difficult. There's so many good teams at Junior A right now. It's the toughest probably championship to win, knowing what's involved. But they can, like I said, they can still reflect on a good season. Like they have silverware in the trophy cabinet. They are Carbery Junior A football championship, so that's that should make the winter a lot more tolerable.
Exactly, and it's going to be a competitive Carbery Championship the way we like it for next season as well. We'll take a quick break, and after the break, we will be joined by Matthew Sheehan from Goleen.
The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
So welcome back to the Star Sport podcast, and in a bit we'll be talking to Goleen's midfielder Matthew Sheehan about their county Junior B football championship final this Sunday. But first, Kieran, they beat Ballinhassig in the semi-final after extra time in the weekend just gone, 2-12 to 1-13 in Skibbereen. Goleen were so good throughout the championship, but is there an argument that the Ballinhassig game was their toughest test this season, or is that not even an argument at all? Is it a fact? Because Ballinhassig took them all the way to extra time. It was a tough game throughout, but the key thing was they got over the line, and now they're going for a treble of county titles this weekend.
You're dead right there, Matthew. The key thing is they got over the line in a very tight game against Ballinhassig, like you said as well, with all the way to extra time. So that should stand to Goleen going into Sunday's game in Pairc Uí Rinn. They'll be battle hard and after coming through a tough test. It's going to be hard against Douglas too. Douglas team to beat them last season too. We can't forget that either. So Goleen will know that they have it all to do, but they take confidence from, of course, the season that they've had today. They've won the county confined Junior B. They've won Carbery Junior B again. They're now in the county Junior B kind of open championship final as well. So what an incredible season so far, and it has the potential to get even better on Sunday. Like to win a treble of championship titles in the one season would be a remarkable achievement for Goleen. And their manager Shane O'Neill was saying after the win against Ballinhassig, he feels that game will stand to them. They came through a tough game. So like I said, they will be battle hardened. They had a gut check and they passed it. We know they have the footballers. We've seen that in their game so far. We're now in December where look at the weather outside, the skies are grey, the pitches are a bit wet, these games are becoming real battles right now. But if anyone can battle, it's the Goleen footballer. So touch wood, cross your fingers and toes that they can get the job done on Sunday.
Exactly. So, and let's hear from their midfielder Matthew Sheehan now. So that I'll be joined on the podcast by Matthew Sheehan, the midfielder for Goleen, the very good Goleen team this year. At the moment, having played 18 games, they've won 17, and now they're going for the county Junior B football championship this weekend when they play Douglas in Pairc Uí Rinn. Suppose first of all, Matthew, it's an amazing season for Goleen in general, but you've one more step to take now against Douglas this Sunday.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, it's a great thing, winning and stuff and playing and taking the year to stay down. So it's, great. Everyone's come together and obviously, it just makes going to training is a lot more enjoyable. And so, hopefully we can just one step further now this weekend and complete the triple.
And what are the preparations like in general before every game? I suppose like the players will be bouncing at the bit just to get another game under their belt, considering the winning form you're on.
Yeah, 100%. Like last weekend now against Ballinhassig, it was obviously cancelled the weekend before, and there's talks of being cancelled again, and everyone was just everyone was in kind of in that zone to want to play football, get out on the pitch because when you're winning, like it's enjoyable, and we're all enjoying playing with each other and playing football at the minute. So it's just we want to get out and play games as much as we can.
And of course, you did beat Ballinhassig in that semi-final, as you mentioned, 2-12 to 1-13 after extra time. Was that the toughest game of your season? Do you think? Because you got brought to extra time. You're winning games at a canter this season. Do you think Ballinhassig really put up your biggest test this year?
Yeah, 100%. They were, very, very physical everywhere in the middle, and yeah, really put a test to us, which obviously you want to be getting. So no, it was good, and so it was a good test for us. I think coming into Douglas, hopefully that getting over the line in the extra time in a tight game like that can stand to us. Coming into Douglas this weekend, if it does have a close game, we can back ourselves to get over the line in a close game.
Having 17 wins out of a possible 18 across league and championship, your only loss was against Randall in the league, and even then Randall were a junior A side. Could you have imagined at the start of the year having a season like that?
No, definitely not. It was definitely the start of the year was obviously the main objective was just the junior B, and we were kind of at the start, to try and maintain the Division Two status for next year. So it'd be good because like there's a lot of Junior A teams, so it would stand to us coming into the Junior A Championship next year. But at the start of it, we didn't really think to be tend win up winning the league at all. And obviously, when results are going, then you obviously start talking to each other to if we can maintain results here and stuff, we could possibly end up on top of the table towards the end of the year.
I suppose that decision towards the end of last year, to start this year, to stay in Junior B rather than go up to Junior A, was that a brilliant decision in the end, considering you got a lot of confidence under yourselves now? Like even chatting to Pairc Uí Rinn, your captain, down through the weeks, like he's saying that you're bouncing off the walls for training, the confidence is up, winning breeds a habit. So like it was ultimately it was a very good decision to stay down Junior B, and even Junior A next year, you'd be excited for that challenge, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely like staying down, like the success we've had this year, hopefully now it'll be a good thing for us bring it into next year and then we can use that momentum and confidence that we have within the group to hopefully to maintain junior A status then and maybe get a couple of results here and there next year as well.
Talk to me about Shane O'Neill, your manager. Like the amount of confidence he's given you on the field, I suppose, in winning these games.
Yeah, no, he's the motivator really amongst the group, like even amongst trainings, games and stuff, he really does how he's the voice kind of before the games and stuff really gets you going and kind of motivates ourselves to let us know that we've been there, we've done the hard work throughout the season and stuff, and we have the footballers across the park to get us results at the end of the day when we need to and stand up and do a job.
We talked about winning, breeding a habit there. Does that just bring the players back into training week on week on week, I suppose? And even the players that don't aren't lucky enough to start in a certain game, like I'm sure they'd be delighted just to be part of the panel as well and just fighting for those starting places too.
Yeah, 100%. Like years before and stuff would be, especially after if you take last year after when we lost the Plunkets and stuff, the first couple of weeks afterwards, it's obviously losing stuff. Training was kind of hard and stuff, but this year, everyone's raring to get down. Training stuff, people are doing a bit of extras here and there. I'd say everyone's just loving being on the pitch and playing football, which is a great thing.
The community aspect around the Goleen area, like I'm sure the Goleen supporters around the place are absolutely thrilled with how the team is performing this season. Like to win, like you've won three trophies already this year, you could win a fourth on Sunday. What has that done to the community of Goleen?
It's really, it brings the whole community together. Like all the games we've gone to, whether anywhere around where it's been Pairc Uí Rinn or other game, like we have a big support coming to games and they really help us, especially in like tight games like that. Like Ballinhassig, we could really hear him on the sideline pushing us on. And then when you're around Goleen, there's flags and everything around and everyone's asking how you're doing and it's all chat about the football and stuff at the weekend. And so it really brings the whole community as a whole together, which obviously is great to see.
Even in the West Cork League, like you had the privilege of playing a few Junior A sides as well, and the fact you're doing so well in Junior B, does that give you confidence that you could do well in the Junior A Championship next year? That you're winning so often in Junior B, and then in June against Junior A sides in the league, you competed really, really well.
Yeah, I think definitely that, like, coming up, as I've said, being in that Division Two and getting that exposure to a couple of the junior A sides and getting results, I think it really opens our eyes that, like, when we do perform, when we are, training hard and stuff, that we can get results and we are good enough to compete at that level if we want to be able to compete. So I think that definitely breeds a lot of confidence, which I think we've brought into the training for the rest of this season, that, we really can be a contending side in junior A if we want to be and if we all commit to it.
And of course, last year in a Junior B final, you did come up short against Douglas last season. So, is there a bit of redemption in your minds going into this game on Sunday?
Yeah, I think the whole thing is like with we get to go again with them, which is obviously a great thing to have because obviously last year it was it was tough that loss of last year. We were in a great position and lost at the end. So I think everyone definitely think everyone's raring to go now this week, having heard that after that they beat Kilmurray at the weekend. Everyone was raring to go and ready to have another challenge against them and hopefully get one up on them this time.
And even that semi-final against Ballinhassig, to have that game under your belt, I think Shane mentioned that in this week's Star as well. Does that kind of give you more of an onus to go ahead into this final, more of a test, I suppose, just to get you ready for this final?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think like coming up to this, we've been winning like say more than 5 or 6 scores, which obviously is great, but we haven't had that really towards the end nitty gritty kind of had to pull it out the kind of bag game, which I think Ballinhassig really brought it to us. As I said, physically, and they were kicking great scores, playing some great football, and I think that was a great challenge, and to be able to get over it in extra time shows that like we still, no matter how heavy the pitch is at this time of year, that we're able to still perform, and when it does get nitty and gritty, that we can come out on the right side of it, and hopefully it'll stand to us now this weekend.
When you look at the whole spectrum of the goalie players' careers and things, including yourself, is this probably the best season that you've had as a goalie player, in your opinion?
Yeah, definitely. This like last year was the first year kind of for myself, getting any bit of silverware with Goleen the West Cork. So this year, it's really topped it again, and obviously getting that the Junior B county title, is the main aim for Goleen for the last couple of years. And like my dad has played with Goleen before, Kieran Sheehan, so he's always been telling me how we're having a privilege and really lucky, and I suppose take it as it comes, the success we're having now, because it's never night like that before, and to just enjoy playing football at the time. So because he's always said about he's always wanted to playing, try to get to that Junior B final, win the Junior B and stuff, and to be able to do that, it's really made this year a successful year definitely for us.
And finally, like, what would it mean to the club to win a county junior? I know you've won the confined junior B title earlier on the year, but what would it mean for the whole community to win a county junior B title just a couple of weeks before Christmas?
I think, yeah, no, definitely be massive. Like it was when we won the county back in July. It was really brought the whole community together. Everyone's celebrating together. You've people that have played in the past talking to us young lads, and then other ones growing up as well in the area. It really shows them. So it's great, and then hopefully with Christmas, family being around and stuff, a lot of families and around, so coming to watch us and stuff. So hopefully, it'll just again bring that whole community just before Christmas, and hopefully we'll get it over the line and enjoy the couple of weeks then.
That's brilliant. And yeah, thanks for your time, Matthew, on the podcast today, and best of luck to Goleen on Sunday against Douglas.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
So it is that time of the week again where we discuss what's in this week's Southern Star. So, Kieran, what should our readers expect this Thursday?
Yeah, absolutely packed. I know I'm like a broken record every week, but we're now kind of into December, and it's still there's so much going on in West Cork sports. So this Thursday's Star is well worth checking out. Obviously, we have reports from the Goleen footballers beating Ballinhassig, the Skib ladies losing to Anadown, and Inniscarra beating Kilmacabey. Also one for our Tig McCorrick contingent. They won the Carbery Junior C football final. They beat Gabriel Rangers last weekend. Dan McCarthy was the man. He was just the hero there. And also their goalkeeper Shane Kingston saved the penalty in the dying stages of extra time. So that's well worth checking out for Cora fans. As well as that, we have a long read on the Skibbereen hurlers that won the 2004 County Junior B Hurling Championship. We had Alan Foley, Rob Long, and Fleur Crowley on the podcast last week, and we've done a kind of a deep dive into that season. So for any hurling fans in West Cork or any Skibbereen people, that is certainly worth checking out. Also, Fiona Everard from Inniskeen will be in action at the European Cross Country Championships in Turkey this weekend. So I caught up with Fiona for a chat ahead of the European. So that's a nice one. And we've actually a super story by Martin Walsh from the Killarney Historic Rally the last weekend, where the World Rally Champion, the two-time World Rally Champion, the Finnish driver, was in action there. He was a huge draw for Killarney, and up Malls Gap there was a big crowd waiting for him. But while he was tearing his way up Malls Gap, something happened to the car where it just conked out, and it was 3 local men, one from West Cork and 2 from Macroom, who came to his rescue. So we have the full story on that. I think we'll be the first outlet to name the 3 of them, the 3 local heroes that saved the Clarny Historic Rally. So that's well worth checking out for that. And also news on the soccer field. Matthew, you have a nice piece with the Menway Town, who have high hopes in this year's West Cork League. So yeah, there's plenty going on. It's a really, really busy Southern Star Sports. So plenty for readers to tuck into on Thursday morning.
Exactly so. And as usual, if you are further afield or can't make it to the shops, you could subscribe to the Southern Star e-paper and get the Southern Star on your laptop, tablet or phone. Just go to www.southernstar.ie/subscribe, enter your details and you'll get an exact replica of the newspaper for less than €2 per week. As always, thanks for listening to the Star Sport podcast, and thanks again to our sponsors at Access Credit Union. If you've enjoyed this, please remember to rate, review and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll be back again next week. Until then, take care.